Hi, everybody. This is Reza.
This is Sandy.
Welcome back to episode 46 of the Stone Cold Sober podcast.
It's good to be here. It's the New York Marathon today.
Oh, really?
New York City Marathon's a big deal in the city, for sure.
Shutting down areas by you?
Not really by me. More, it goes through all 5 boroughs,
Uh,
but it's more uptown. I've got a couple of friends running in it this year.
When you got to run through all 5 boroughs, oh, Jesus, man. That's a long That's a long
It's
run.
26.2 miles, man.
I know 26.2 miles is a long run.
Is it?
But
Is it?
when you tell me that you run through all 5 boroughs, I'm like, whoa, Jesus. I didn't realize all of them were within 26 miles of each other. But when you tell me how, I know how big New York City is. If I got to run to all 6 boroughs, or all 5, that's too much. Too much.
Yeah.
I'm out.
I get it. Just a side note, some housekeeping. We are looking to put this on iTunes. I'm going to start putting up, hopefully this week, some of the episodes. I just have to figure out how to do it. So that's going to be a little project that I give myself. Just, securing. Like, do we got to get iTunes, right? In a sense, like, we got to get a podcast space.
I don't actually know exactly how it works. I think you register with iTunes and then they just link directly to the host of your podcast.
And our host is Shout Engine,
and the
right?
host is Shout Engine. So I think we're indexed on iTunes, so it's easier for people to find. They can subscribe, things like that. And I believe whenever the download occurs, I think it just gets downloaded from Shout Engine directly. I'm not positive that iTunes actually hosts any of their podcasts.
Okay.
But I could be wrong. But that seems to be that seems to be the understanding, at least, that I'm getting up from it.
So I'm just gonna go through YouTube. How many episodes do we have on Shout Engine right now?
Right now, I want to say we probably have 20 or so, 25 maybe. We started doing it before I went to Seattle, and I think we were around 30-ish. And I don't have any the raw audio clips from any of those old episodes. I do have the videos, though. So it might actually be easier for me, now that I think about it, to pull the MP3s from the videos rather than having you download them from YouTube. But, I mean, either one's going to work. The quality will probably be very similar or the same.
Okay. Yeah, I think I was just going to start with episode 1.
Yeah,
and then just start moving my way up that way.
Yeah, exactly.
So it would make more sense to put download the MP3, upload to Shout Engine, and then RSS feed into iTunes.
Yes.
Okay. All right. I'm sorry that everyone had to listen to that, but it's housekeeping for a reason.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Halloween.
Yeah. Happy Halloween, everybody.
Ugh, the worst.
Sam doesn't like Halloween apparently, but I love it.
Yeah. I mean, I don't eat a lot of candy. I scare easily, and I know in New York, people just go crazy, and I'm not about that. I'm not about dressing up. I hate dressing up. Everyone's like, "Oh, why aren't you dressing up?" It's like, screw you. I'm not dressing up. You dress up. It's like, oh, we are dressing up. It's like, that's not what I meant. You know what? So, for some reason, man, I just can't get into it. I haven't gotten into it for years. So.
Yeah. Well, for me, I loved it as a kid. I love getting candy. I don't scare easily. Or even if I do get scared, it's still exciting, because I know I'm safe.
Do you?
Yes, I do.
I think it's because of my overactive imagination that I just start burrowing in real dark, real fast.
Yeah.
So
I love scary movies. I don't go out of my way to watch them too much, but my little sister loves them. So whenever she comes home, and my brother, my oldest brother, he's a huge movie buff. So anytime the two of them get together, it's like a scary movie marathon. They'll be we'll be home for a few days out of the year together, 5 days we'll say, and for over the course of those 5 days, 15 scary movies would be watched.
I am 100% not doing that ever. I don't Like when you say scary movie marathon, I just go nope. I just noped on out of there.
The funny thing about scary movies is that there's a very fine line for maybe for us, my family. There's a very fine line between actual scary movie and comedy, because sometimes horror movies are done so poorly that they're just hilarious at how bad they are. Like, it's not intentional on their part, but we just start cracking up and everything just becomes like funny. I know that you can't quite imagine this right now.
Nah,
I'm
like
letting you
scary
know.
movies are not funny to me.
Like
I'm always like,
there's
oh my god.
there's a difference between like the gory like Saw type of movies. I don't really like those. I like the genuine like thrillers. Like, um, have you ever seen? I guess well, you're the wrong person to ask. There's a movie called Wreck. Like Record. It's it was a I think like a Argentinian or something, like a South American independent film. And basically, this woman is doing a documentary. I think she works for like some like new local news agency, right? And she's like a reporter, and she has her cameraman, and they're doing a documentary on a local fire team, like a firehouse, right? And they get a call out to this apartment complex, and they go there, and just a series of crazy, scary things are happening at this apartment complex, and they end up getting locked or quarantined inside because the person who lived like on the top floor, the police have found out that he had some like biohazard agents in his apartment. So these people have been quarantined inside the building, and they're not allowed to leave, but they're inside there with some crazy demon like thing. That one was a really scary movie. It was a really good movie. Um, but on the other hand, they're just movies where people make like these boneheaded decisions, uh, like highly questionable decisions, and they're just funny to me. Like, if you're like, I think if I'm watching it by myself, it probably wouldn't be so funny. But if I'm watching it with my brothers and we're just sitting there clowning on the movie the whole time, it's funny.
Yeah, in that sense, I get it. But ah man, I just shit'll happen, and then I just get super, super, super scared. And like, so okay, on Friday night, a friend had bought tickets to this show at a church, St. John the Divine. It's like a block away from. It's actually across the street from Columbia. It's
Okay.
this really nice old church. And so we ended up grabbing dinner in Harlem at this place called Ginny's Supper Club. And we like it was great. It was like underneath this place. It was like there was great music. It was like basically like soul food. It was so good. And we ate it, and then we ended up going over and we walk into the church, and it's just like there's like red lights everywhere. Like they've Halloweened it out, right? And I took a picture of a guy who was wearing like the skeleton mask, and he was playing a cello, and it was like this guy who looked like he was a zombie playing music. It was awesome. And then like all the pews are there's like people sitting everywhere, and they have this massive organ like in the head of the church, right? Like you know how like the head of the church like wraps around in like a almost like an alcove.
Yeah.
Imagine like the organ is built into every side of the alcove. That's how big this organ is. And then I see this screen hanging, like a projection screen hanging in the middle. It's like, oh, what's going on? They goes, oh, we're watching a movie tonight, a silent film, and they're gonna like the guy who's there's an organist playing the original music.
Nice.
So that's sort of like when they do like Harry Potter with the Live Symphony, or when they do Lord of the Rings with the Live Symphony. I don't know if you've ever been to one of those, but that's really cool. They ended up playing Nosferatu, the original vampire movie.
Yeah.
And in the beginning, it's like not too bad. It's kind of funny. They have to be really exaggerative because it's a silent film.
Yeah.
But then when they get to Nosferatu's castle, there's a scene where the guy like wakes up at night because he's feeling something weird. He opens a door, and all the way down the hall, you see this like Nosferatu guy sort of appear out of nowhere and start moving towards you. And I swear to God, I started losing my shit because in my mind, I was the guy. Like I had completely forgotten where I was, so I literally grabbed my friend's leg. She starts
Jesus.
laughing. I'm just staring at the screen. I'm like, I'm totally not in the church anymore. I'm like where the guy is. It's like a long infinite hallway, and I just see like this like vampire slowly moving my way, and there's nothing I can do. And by the time I finally open the door, because when the character opens the door, he like runs into his bed. The door just like sort of slams open, and like there's a vampire standing in the hall, like the thing.
Yeah.
It was just it was too much. There was just it was just too much for me to move.
You become completely immersed, huh?
I get so immersed for sure. It's it just happens so naturally that I completely forget where I am, and that's why scary movies are really bad for me. Yeah, I mean it was a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun. There's a lot of funny parts of that movie too,
Yeah.
but the scary parts for me are just like, oh my god! Like when I saw Texas Chainsaw Massacre, I couldn't do it. Like the remake in like the late 2000s, I want to say.
I think it may. Yeah. Yeah. I guess
Was
mid to
Jessica
late.
Biel in that?
No idea. I mean, I could quickly look it up. I never saw the remake. I've only seen the original.
The original one sort of ends with all of them at the dinner table, right?
I think so. I haven't
Yes.
seen the original since I was in high school, so it's been a while since I've seen that one.
Yeah, let me tell you how I'm not about that life. Um, it's funny because at home when I'm in the like I don't like being in the basement at night.
Yeah.
I just don't like being in the basement by myself in general. And I know every room in that house, uh, obviously. But when I walk up, like when I have to like go upstairs from the basement, I will like sort of center myself at the base of the stairs because there's like a turn in our stairs,
Hmm.
and then there's two sets of like light switches. They both control all the lights. So when I hit the light switch at the bottom, it's basically like a runner on third and the pop fly in the outfield. And the second I turn off the lights and the ball hits the mitt, I'm running up the
Man,
stairs.
you a grown ass man.
I am not a grown ass. It's just like I'll run up the stairs, I'll turn off the lights, and I'll close the basement, and that's it. That's it, man. That's it.
Oh man.
No more basement activity until 9 a.m.
Jesus. The remake was actually in 2003.
Okay.
And it does star Jessica Biel. You're right. I'm surprised by that actually.
Yeah, I was like, I remember her being in that. So, so yeah, man. I just think with my overactive imagination that, especially like when I'm going to sleep or something, like my mind just fills with like these really dark images. And good news, I don't have sleep paralysis because that would fuck me up. You know about sleep paralysis, right?
I've heard of it.
It's this thing where you're in, I think you're in such deep REM sleep or something
Hmm.
that you end up somehow waking up, but you can't control anything, and so you're in this like hyper hallucinogenic state. And most people, when they suffer from sleep paralysis, they have demonic visions, which is crazy because this has happened throughout the centuries. Like there's paintings way back of like little devils sitting on people's chests while they're sleeping, and it just seems so hyper real that it's hard to wake up again
Yeah.
and then realize it isn't there. Like I read this other account of this woman, and it would always be this like a dream. It would start out her in her neighborhood, sort of like houses close together, white picket fence. She's talking to somebody, and then all of a sudden, out of the corner of her eye, there's like this really fat, disgusting dude that just like walks into frame, and then like she can't run away, and then it always ends up with her on the bed and him lying on top of her, not like sexually,
Yeah.
just literally lying on top of her, and she can smell him, and like it just smells disgusting, and she just can't move. She feels like A, she's paralyzed, right? Sleep paralysis. But B, she has a hard time breathing. Like, can you imagine if you're afflicted with this? Like, I got enough shit I'm dealing with at the office. I gotta come home and deal with this shit. Come on, man. So,
Jesus. Can you imagine like I don't know 500 years ago or so, like when like religion was such a like an important part on everyone's life, and if you told somebody that you see demons in your sleep, like how other people would have reacted to that.
it's. I feel like everyone would assume that they were possessed.
Yeah.
And I don't know if. Like, that's assuming like today we even know what's going on. Like, can you imagine where medicine's gonna be in like 100 years and be like, oh my god, these guys were idiots. Like little kids reading about like you like grandpa did what? Oh, get out of here. It's like, dude, this was like the cutting edge. Like right now we live on the cutting edge of science and technology, and they're just gonna be like, yo, you guys were Luddites, man. Cavemen. Cavemen. So so yeah, this is why I don't like watching scary movies, and I don't hang out in basements after 9 o'clock, and I don't like Halloween. I mean, am I okay with girls dressing in slutty outfits and going out? Yes, who isn't? But it's not worth it, man. It's a high price to pay. It's a high.
I
The rent is too damn high, Reza. The rent is too damn high.
oh, Jesus. The costumes are too damn expensive. I'll tell you that much. So I wasn't sure what I was going to be this year for Halloween. Um, Lena was invited to two Halloween parties. One was for her current work team, and then her old boss. She hosts a Halloween party every year, and they like go all out. They like decorate their house. Their outfits are always great, and they are like always in character and everything. Um, this year. Oh, and then I was also going to go to one of my friend's Halloween parties, which was actually yesterday on Halloween. Her work ones were last week, and so I was trying to figure out what I would wear. She was going to be Cleopatra, and we decided that we didn't really care to be have a matching costume this year. But I went to the Halloween store, and Jesus, everything was terrible, dude.
Really?
I couldn't find like one reasonably priced outfit that looked good. Um, or that I even really wanted to be. And so I'm kind of looking around, and we find a fair outfit for a decent price, and then figure that would go with her Cleopatra, so at least we could be have matching outfits. So
So y'all
even
look
if
good
this,
as a unit.
yeah, so even if it didn't look good, like even if the overall like the costume didn't look great, we still had matching costumes, and that that gets you some point somewhere, right? So I thought on it for a little bit. I was thinking about being the Old Spice guy again. I did that senior year of college. I was thinking about bringing that back. Um,
But that's like is that a shirt on or off?
on. I did it a couple of years ago. It's too cold.
Right. This year was freezing.
Yeah, yeah. Um, I would just wear like a dress shirt or something, and then I think in one of the commercials he kind of has like a sweater tied around his neck, so I did that. Um,
Oh yeah,
and then
yeah,
you
yeah.
just
Good
gotta like
call.
get the facial hair right for it, and then just walk around with a bottle of Old Spice. Um,
That's nice.
yeah,
That's not
so
too bad.
it worked well when I did it in college. In fact, when we went to this bar and there was a Halloween costume contest, and the bouncer was like, "Oh, you got to enter the contest." So I entered the contest, and I go upstairs, and there's another Old Spice guy there who's in a towel, like he's got no shirt on, he's in a towel, and when they're calling the people up to the stage for the contest, they go Old Spice guy, and he just runs up there before I could even go up there. So I didn't want to like make a scene, I guess, kind of like, "Yo, you're the wrong Old Spice dude, like, you need a bounce." So he ended up being the contest for me, and
Ah.
when he got second place, they gave me the gift card. I was like, cool.
Oh, so they gave it to you
Yeah, they gave it to me. They didn't give it to him.
because they knew it was you.
Yeah, yeah. Cause I didn't care enough, I
But
was
you
like,
also entered, and he probably didn't enter.
I guess, yeah. I mean, I'm not sure why they didn't tell him not to enter when he came in, but because I think he was there before I got there. But um, when he went up, like midway through the contest, the bouncer came up to me, or like the owner, whoever it was. He's like, I already know what's happened. He's like, I already know what happened. He went up there thinking it was him. But he's like, don't worry, like we're gonna give you a gift card anyway. I was like,
Nice.
oh,
What was the
nice.
gift card to?
It was a $50 gift card to the restaurant there. It's like a bar and a restaurant. Um,
Oh, nice.
yeah, yeah, Klondike Kate's on Main Street, Newark, Delaware. Good place. So
Klondike Kate's.
Klondike Kate's. Yeah, there's like pub food.
I love pub food.
Yeah,
Do they have bangers and mash? I love bangers and mash.
I'm not sure. I know they do like wings and burgers and stuff like that.
Oh, cool.
They have like half price wings on like Thursday or Friday. They have like half price something every day of the week. So they always have some type of special, which is cool.
Right.
Um,
So, but you ended up going as a pharaoh this year.
yeah,
Yeah, I saw the pictures. You
yeah. It was.
guys killed it.
Thank you. We ended midway through the parties. Um, midway through the parties, we someone called me King Tut. I was like, oh, that's a good one. I want to be King Tut. So
Yeah.
yeah, I was just General Pharaoh for like
General
I was just
Pharaoh.
General Pharaoh
Uh,
for like
when you say General Pharaoh, do you mean like a random Pharaoh
yes
or mil?
a, a random Pharaoh.
Oh, I was like, because General Pharaoh makes no
No, it
sense.
doesn't, but it sounds badass if you want him to be a military Pharaoh.
Yeah, but then you had to be J Pharaoh.
Yeah.
So sorry.
Um, at so what? Yesterday we went to a Halloween party, and we had to we were bringing like food, right? So because Lena texted me yesterday like at 10 in the morning, was like, oh, do we need to bring food for this party? I'm like, oh shit, like they don't not only should we bring food, but there's like a contest for like most creative food, um like best tasting food. There's a best couple for that Halloween outfits, things like that. So they have like contests for everything. And I was like, well, I'll just make the food because it's my thing. She made the food for the last two parties we went to, so I'll make something today. So I ended up making like this cookie pizza, like a cookie pizza, whatever you want to call it. And then I just kind of decorated it with Halloween like candy, candy corn, some Reese's Pieces for the Halloween colors. But then Lena decided she was going to make some cupcakes anyway. So she won prettiest food, which was nice. But I think everyone had eaten by the time we got there. So like no one was eating anything, which is unfortunate. I don't know if anyone ever had the cookie that I made. Most of the food, especially the desserts, went untouched, which is a shame. But it was still a good time. Oh, and we played a lot of water pong. So Mark and I, we end up, at least as far as I know, having the best record for the night. I think we won 4 games before we finally lost.
Water pong is nice because everyone can play. Water pong is also nice because you're not sharing cups when you drink. So, like, a friend can drink, you don't have to drink. You sort of cut down on the dirtiness that is, like,
Yeah.
everyone sharing. Because that is how people get herpes.
For me, the grossest thing was when people would play, because we play in the garage, right? You need to play in an open space. So a lot of times you play in a garage, you play outside, right? And like 99% of the time, the ball hits the floor after
Yeah.
every shot, right?
Right.
And the ball is in someone's like gross hands. Like, when was the last time you washed your hands? I don't know. But the ball's like rolling around like dirt and dust and leaves and grass on the floor, and all that is going into the cup. So when we're playing water pong yesterday, you see all the gross stuff like floating around the water. That's from the floor, and that's exactly what's going into your beers that you're drinking when you play regular beer pong. So I think it's much better when people just play with the water in the cups and then they just drink from a cup after somebody hits. It's much easier, much better.
Yeah.
But Mark was carrying me for the first 2 games. I can't even lie. But the second 2 games I picked it up. And the third game, we had an amazing start to the third game, and then we just could not close it out. We ended up losing the fourth game. I'm sorry. It was the fifth game. I think it was the fifth game that we finally lost.
Oh, wow.
Because I did well. He did well the first 2. I did well the next 2. And then it was the fifth game when we had an amazing start, and then we just blew it at the end.
My best run for Pong was definitely 5 or 6 games in a row. And in the middle of it was a game 3 or game 4. We had just won a round, and these two people stood up. Came up, and it was our turn. And me and this girl, she threw it, and I threw it like a split second after she did before they could react, and we both hit it in the front cup, and they were out. It was. I'm just saying that we were the goats that night.
Yeah.
That night. Great. Well, maybe we were going the greatest of all night. No. So, it was crazy.
Yeah. A lot of fun. I don't drink, but a lot of drinking games would be fun as non-drinking games too. I enjoy myself a good bit of Pong.
Yeah, for sure. It's always fun when you don't have to drink.
Yeah.
It's one of the times where I'll be like, all right, I'll drink a little bit, and over the course of the night, I'll drink a beer. But
yeah,
ideally, no. ideally, no.
I had a friend. You have met him actually. I won't say his name, but I had a friend one time in college. He They were playing beer pong. They ran out of beer, right? So they're like, "Damn, like we're out of beer." He's like, "You know what? Nah, I'll just like, because I think they had one beer left. So on his opponent's side of the table, they had filled up their cups with beer, but he had nothing in his. So he's like, "Damn." So what he ended up doing was filling his cups with just straight liquor. So
I've done that before.
I think he played with like a shot in each cup with just vodka, and
Yeah.
he made it through like halfway. He made it like halfway through the game,
And
and
he
he was like,
died.
"Hold up, I gotta throw up." Goes
Yeah.
throws up, right? Comes back, keeps playing. I'm like, Jesus, this man's committed.
He came
He
back.
came back. He finished the game out, man.
Oh, gross.
Yeah, yeah.
That's too much. That's too much. I don't like that at all.
Oh man.
That's crazy. I can't. Oh, it's so nasty. That's so nasty.
Yep. We talk about these like scary movies, but you know what like really creeps me out the most is reading about actual like serial killers, things like that. Um, when I was in, I guess I was in England. Or no, I was in Paris, coming back from Paris, going back to England, right? And I was in the airport, and I was reading about. It was something on Reddit about Ted Bundy, and
Oh
I, well,
Jesus.
I think it was about Ted Bundy. I think I ended up reading like his because I had opened up his Wikipedia page, right, and it was it was Ted Bundy. I was the Wikipedia page was open on my phone, so I didn't need the internet for it anymore.
Oh,
And
that's
so
nice. That's smart.
I'm on the flight, and I'm just because it's a really short flight. Um, I'm on the flight, just reading his entire Wikipedia like articles. He's so creepy, and it's amazing how many times like he was close to being caught, how much information was going out there about him, and like his kind of mo. He basically would feign an injury. He would like pretend he would have like crutches or like a sling, and he would go up to young women. He'd be like, I'm hurt. He like kind of put on like a little ruse, so like somebody would like a girl would walk by, and he might like drop his groceries and like try to pick it up, and she'd help him pick it up, and then he'd ask if she would help him walk into his car, and she'd be like, oh sure. They would walk over to his car, then he would end up like tying her up or whatever, like hitting her over the back of the head or something like that with his
Just get him
bat, and
bopped.
just yeah, basically getting bopped, tie her up, and then doing his thing with her.
Was he
So
just a killer, or was he also like a torturer and like what's the deal on that?
I believe he was just a killer. I don't think he did any torture. He
No
would
raping, no nothing.
I think he did do. I believe he did do raping.
Gross.
Like I think the reason why I was reading about him, I think I remember what the article was that came up. It was something about one of the women that he was with. There was a girl that he was so before he killed, or supposedly before the first time he killed, he was seeing this one girl, right? And I think she broke up with him, and it really pissed him off, and he was able to get her back and basically played her to the point that she wanted to marry him. Once she wanted to marry him, he just completely stopped answering her calls. He basically just wanted to prove to himself that he could actually win her over. Now he did spend time with a couple of other women, and one of those women ended up like marrying him. Oh yeah, so he acted as his own lawyer, right? And when she was on the stand, he asked her a question, and she answered yes. Like he basically asked if she would marry him while she was on the witness stand, right? And when she answered yes, he basically turns to the spectators and says, by the law of whatever state, we're now married. And it turns out that was true. I think it was Florida. I'm looking at it
Oh,
right
so
now.
she can't testify against him.
No, I don't even think it was that. I think it was just they wanted to get married, or he wanted to marry her, and he
Oh,
basically asked her,
on the
and
witness
she said,
stand.
yeah, on the witness stand. It turns out that's a legal marriage in Florida or whatever state it was. I believe it's Florida because I'm looking at the Wikipedia thing. I see Florida all over the place. Um,
That's
yeah,
cool.
serial killer, kidnapper, rapist, and necrophile.
Oh Jesus.
Yeah, if you,
Oh, that last one. Oh no.
yeah, I believe he like buries his victims, and then he would return to these sites. He buried some of them. Um, Like that stuff, it really creeps me out.
That
And
reminds me of the story that I read on Salon or something about runaway girls in the city, in the country,
yeah,
and how there is this unspoken code of rating these like tractor trailer drivers
hmm
on a scale of 1 to 10, whether or not they're actually super nice or they're the ones that have girls tied up in the back and they're just driving cross country, raping them while they do their job.
yeah,
Like that just makes me so uneasy, you know.
yeah. This is
So
ridiculous.
it's too much.
Yeah. Oh, so have you ever looked at the list of serial killers on Wikipedia?
No.
So on Wikipedia, there's a list of serial killers. There's some, you can, I guess, like serial killers with the highest known victim counts. You can sort it by different counts, right? The number one is Luis Garavito from Colombia. His proven victims, get this, 138. The
What?
possible victims ranges from 172 to 400 and more. He's a child murderer, torture killer, and rapist known as La Bestia, the Beast, confessing to killing 140 children over a 5-year period in Colombia. He's suspected of murdering over 400 victims, mostly street children. And I believe Colombia has a law. The longest sentence any person can receive for any crime in Colombia is 21 years. Something like that. Let's see. Okay, never mind. It says, although the maximum sentence for murder in Colombia multiplied by 139 comes to 1,853 in years and 9 days, Colombia law limits imprisonment to 40 years. Because he helped police find some bodies, as well as to his confessions, his sentence was further reduced to 22 years. He may possibly qualify for even an earlier release for further cooperation and good behavior. He was apprehended in April 22nd, 1999. I'm not sure when he was sent to prison, but like he's 58 years old. So he'll be released from prison before he's dead. Like before he dies of old age.
That makes me feel so good.
Yeah, yeah. There are lots of the first U.S. killer, Gary Ridgway, from the U.S. 49 known victims, but the list, it's kind of crazy how many people are from South America. Pedro Lopez had a spree in Colombia, Ecuador, and Peru. Someone here from Brazil, India, China, Afghanistan, Russia, Ukraine, and then the U.S.
Jesus. It's too much.
Yeah.
It's too much. Like all this stuff just like sometimes they just, real life is scarier than fiction.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like when you realize how crazy some people can be, or some people really are, just I don't know. Because like when you see the movies, when you see these types of things in movies, it's like, well, that's just fiction, like it's not, it's not real. A lot of times they're like, oh, this is based on a true story. I'm like, well, yeah, it's based on a true story, but how much of it is actually true?
Correct.
Like you just took somebody's name and the fact that he did something, and then you built your own story around it, like to show me how you think he could have done it or how he would have done it, whatever it is. But when you actually see these stories of things that people have done, to know that there are people like that out in the world, that's just what makes it so crazy, like really creepy. And those thoughts really only happen. Those thoughts only really like cross your mind when you're like walking alone at night, like at 3 a.m. down the street or something like that. And you're like, oh shit, and you start running.
Yeah. Oh, I'm running already.
Or start walking fast,
That
at least. Or when you're
that is no joke,
Or if you're you're in your basement at 9 p.m. and you need to run up the stairwell.
dude. That is no joke, man. I know you. Listen, the beast is in my basement. All right, the beast is in my
The
basement,
beast is in a Colombian prison somewhere right now.
and he escaped 2 weeks ago,
He did not escape.
and he's chilling in my basement.
Although Ted Bundy, he actually he escaped from jail like 2 or 3 times. It's crazy.
This is really helpful. Thank you.
He's dead. They killed him.
That's what you think.
No, he died. He died January 24th, 1989. You weren't even born yet. All right, I was 2 months old.
You sure?
Yeah. Yeah, positive.
You're sure it wasn't like some thing where the government fakes his death and they just send him on Black Ops missions, and so if he dies, he dies. It's like Suicide Squad, real
I'm
life
just
Suicide Squad.
I'm just saying he's if he were alive now, he'd be 7 years old.
Still scary.
I don't think he's that scary anymore. I think at 7 years old, you kind of lose your scariness.
I don't know, man.
I feel like I can outrun most 7-year-old men and women. And if need be, I can smack a 7-year-old across the face with like a 2x4, and that would kind of knock him out.
Damn, ruthless.
I'm just saying.
You're so mean.
7-year-old Ted Bundy came at me. That might be my only means of defense.
Yeah, I mean, if it's between you and being a victim, I think the least you could do is smack somebody.
Yeah.
Okay, I get it. I get it. I don't condone it. No, I'm kidding. um, that's funny. That's Jesus. Real life is always gonna be stranger than fiction, man, and it's scary. That reminds me. Remember that on Reddit? I think it came out from 4chan. The Smiling Man.
Smiling Man. I don't think I've. Let me Google the Smiling Man because I'm not
Smiling
sure.
Man was like the story of like urban legend. This guy's walking down the street, and this guy just walking around with this big ass smile on his face, and then starts chasing him down the street. Like,
I'm looking it up right now. I see the story right here. I'm not gonna read it out loud because it's too long, but continue.
so uh, somebody made a video, like a short video of it.
Yeah, I see that here. I think I have seen the video. Yeah, I have seen the video. I didn't know what it was based off of.
It was crazy. I was not about that life.
The Smiling Man video is really weird.
It's short, but it gets the job done. So there it is.
Yeah.
What else? Oh, can I tell you about Uncharted 3?
Have you 100%ed it now?
No.
But you will today?
No, I don't think I will.
Oh,
It's been a little bit longer than I anticipated. Yeah, let me just say that the games have looked so much better every generation. I know they like upresed and they did all that stuff, like they remastered everything, and that was really great. But I'm playing this right now, and people said that like Uncharted 3 was like the worst one. Not the worst one, but like definitely not as good as Uncharted 2, and Uncharted 2 was like some dope shit, right?
yeah.
But Uncharted 3 is just still so much fun, man. I'm having a great time with it. The set pieces are ridiculous. The writing is phenomenal. The
Yeah.
graphics look amazing. And I really like just like walking around, just hearing the little conversations that they have with each other. And like there's a scene where like the three main characters are trying to pull this grate off of this ancient well, right? And they
Right.
look into the well, and it's like a ladder. And the one guy goes, "Well, well, well." And then the one guy starts laughing, and the girl goes, "What's so funny?" He goes, "It's a well." And it was just like these like dumb moments like that. Like there's levity, there's some seriousness. There's a really dark villain. There's ancient societies. There's like ancient tombs. I'm actually getting
Yeah.
pretty smart about solving these things without like, in the last game I played like Tomb Raider or some shit. I was like, no, I can't solve these tombs. I'm out. Give me the YouTube link. I ain't got time for this. But in all of the Uncharted ones, I've actually sat around and just figured it all out.
Yeah.
And
that's
it's
good.
it's so nice to have something click and be like, oh my god, that makes perfect sense,
Yeah,
So
I think that's what I missed about like my childhood gaming the most is when there were challenges, like things were super challenging and there was nowhere you really could go to get the answers unless you went to like a Nintendo Power magazine or something like that. So it still blows my mind to this day how I figured out how to do certain things in some of these old school games. Like I don't know if you ever play like the old like the N64 Legend of Zelda games like Ocarina of Time. But
no.
like trying to figure out some of those dungeons. The most notoriously was the water dungeon, which is not the water dungeon when you're a kid, but when you're an adult, is very difficult to figure out. And it's very much a maze. And to this day, like anytime I replay the game, I've played that game probably like 3 or 4 times. It's always super challenging to figure out where you're supposed to go, but it's super rewarding when you get it done. Nowadays, you don't really do that with games. Like they have all these collectibles, and the collectibles are almost meant to be a collaborative effort, like a community type, like driven type of effort.
Right.
But at the end of the day, it really ends up being like 90% of the people just kind of use a walkthrough and they tell you exactly where to go.
I'm one of those people.
And I'm one of those people too, because some of them are just too ridiculous. Like I'm not gonna, like if you miss out on at the very beginning, the first time when everybody else is trying to figure it out and you're kind of all confused, you don't get to experience that at the very beginning, which is something that I dislike, or it's unfortunate about a lot of games nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
Like with Destiny, for example, right? With Destiny, one thing they've been doing this year with the game is they have certain quests that are available only when certain missions are available, but you have to do something very specific in the mission to make that happen, like to find the hidden weapon or the hidden quest. And it's like when one person figures it out, like when the first person figures it out, they kind of post it on Reddit or to some forum, and then everyone's trying to figure out, this is what you need to do next, or no, this is what you should do next, something like that. And if you don't take part in that, like if you don't have the game from day one, like I didn't, then you miss out on all that. And then it's just, okay, we'll follow this walkthrough or this guide, and you'll get it. And like, it's still good, it's still fun, it's still nice to get to get that achievement or whatever it is, but you miss out on some of the fun of discovering it for yourself.
Absolutely. It's a balance. I definitely love the feel of figuring stuff out.
Yeah.
But I guess I just had to balance how important is it to me to have to like solve it on my own.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, I'm having a lot of fun with it. I think there's 20 chapters. I'm not sure. Just going through the trophy list.
Mm-hmm.
The way they do it, they kind of do like every game. They have like 3 that they need you to beat in a certain amount of time, and you can do it for the entire game. And that's like a separate set of achievements. But I'm not going to do that. Once I 100% the basic game and not the like the whole series, like because each game has a certain set of trophies, and then they have like the collection trophies for each game.
Yeah.
That are like just like 10 more additional ones, and one of them's like beat the entire game in under 3 hours. It's like, all right, so you got to do like individual time runs.
Yeah.
And I'm just like not trying to do that. It's crazy. I'll platinum just the 3 games themselves, and I'll move on. The next game I'm gonna buy is Journey.
Okay.
I've always wanted to play that game, so I'm gonna get that next.
So I do have to ask. So what about? So are you? Do you plan on buying Halo 5? What do you think?
Oh yes. I need to do that. I'm gonna do that after some stuff in real life is over with.
Yeah.
Depending on how other stuff like pan out, that'll be like a celebratory thing that I'll just get.
Okay.
So, but thank you for reminding me.
I've been having fun with the game. I did check out some of the reviews, but not too much. Like I mostly looked at summary of the reviews, but I didn't read a lot of the reviews or even watch any of the videos. I think from the summaries, like some people loved some people actually enjoyed the story, like the campaign. Everyone seems to love the multiplayer, but some people really didn't like the story because of how much it depends on the lore of Halo. And what I saw in some reviews were like, it depends too much on the previous games. And I was like, that's dumb. Of course, it's the 5th game in the series. Why would it? It's not going to be a brand new story. But what I've come to realize is that they actually take elements from the expanded Halo universe, so things from the books, stuff like that, and that is when it becomes too confusing. So there's like a gap in time between 4 and 5, which so if you, for example, you and I listen to Hunt the Truth, the podcast, right?
Yes.
Which is a great podcast, but some people, if you didn't listen to it, you're not necessarily like I don't to this point of the game, because I'm only like 5 missions in, but at this point in the game, while I don't think you would miss anything, you are aware of certain things that have happened or that are happening in the background because you listen to the podcast, things like that. But like Spartan Locke, if you didn't watch Halo Nightfall, which I didn't, then you don't know who he is. He's just another random dude who has his own team and he's hunting for a Master Chief, and that's about it. That's all you really know. I mean, and I only got that from the promo for the game, not from anything I've received in the game. But I realized later on, I'm like, oh, he's the guy from Nightfall, isn't he? Because he looks just like that guy.
That I can understand the reason why people don't like that.
Yeah, it's just, some people aren't as committed to the universe as others. And, overall it's a great story, but it's kind of like, it's almost like a long comic series. Like, well, where do you jump in? Like, it's too overwhelming. I'm not that committed to a single game or franchise that I want to sit there and go out of my way and read all these books and comics and whatever else there is about it. I've seen some YouTube videos kind of summarizing certain points, so I'm aware of certain things, or I've read up on the wikis, so I know some things that like the casual gamer might not know. But for the most part, I'm still lost in certain things. Like, I don't know who all the characters are on the because you have like each like Master Chief and Locke have their team of 4, including themselves, and I don't know who the other 3 people are on each squad. Other than one guy on Locke's team, he was in ODST. He's a former ODST who's turned into a Spartan. But that's about it. But I'm having fun with it. The multiplayer is very tough, but it's still a lot of fun. When you try to play solo, which is what I'm basically doing, I've only played with somebody like once or twice. Playing solo can be a frustrating thing because in Halo, the way the matchmaking works is once you have 4 people, you're in that game and those are your only teammates. So if somebody leaves, that's it. They're gone and there's no replacement for them. And if it's an objective game, it's very, very difficult to overcome that lost person.
Right. Well, that makes sense.
Yeah. And like, it's also frustrating when somebody on the other team leaves too, because then it's like 3v4 or 2v4. And it's just not even fun anymore.
You just want a clean 4-on-4 win.
Exactly. It's just fun that way. Like, I don't really care too much about my rankings. I know a lot of people care about the rankings, but I'm just looking to have some fun. And obviously I want to win, but I want to win in like in a super competitive game, because that's what feels good. And if I'm winning like if we're like 4 people against 1 person or 2 people or 3 people, it's not as fun.
That's fair.
But that doesn't happen very often. The servers are very smooth.
That's what I heard.
Yeah, the multiplayer has been very solid. So after the whole mishap with the Master Chief Collection, they've definitely redeemed themselves, at least on with this game. They actually have.
Yeah,
they've done a good job with this game.
How do you feel about no split screen co-op?
I
heard that's a big issue.
I don't think I've played split screen once on my Xbox, so that's not an issue for me.
Okay.
Not sure about you.
No, it's fine with me too.
I know you sometimes play with Earl, but
yeah, but it's like not enough.
Yeah.
I mean, I bought Forza because he said he wanted to play, right. And that man only uses the Xbox for Netflix.
Yeah.
So it's all good.
Right.
I was thinking about buying the Elite controller.
Oof.
Not gonna be able to do it.
Really? Oh wow. Okay, I'm surprised you changed your mind. I love the Jalen Rose insert right there too.
Not gonna be able to do it.
I haven't listened to that podcast in a long time. That's my favorite line.
It's too expensive.
It is way too expensive. It's $100. So people that don't know, regular controller is super expensive anyway. A regular controller is like $60, right? And that's without rechargeable batteries. If you want to get a rechargeable battery pack, that's like an extra $20 or $25. But the Xbox Elite controller has like remappable controls. Everyone has a remappable control now. They have these paddles on the back. So your normal controller has the buttons just on the front face, and your index finger and your middle finger on the back of the controller don't really do anything. And in a lot of games, you need to jump. So when you jump, you take your hands off the right control stick, which you typically use in shooters to aim, to jump. And some people, like pros, they want to be able to aim and jump at the same time. So they've created these controllers where they have these buttons on the back, or what they call paddles, and you use your index finger to touch those instead, so you never have to take your hands off of the aiming controls ever. And that controller is $150. Can't do it.
Can't
No
do
way.
it.
No way.
It's not worth it. We don't play enough games that warrant it.
And I'm not like, I'm not a professional, and I don't look to play at that level. Like, it's just not worth it to me.
Right.
Like, there are very few times in my life when I'm like, oh, if I had that controller, I would have won there. But like, even if I do think that, it's just, even if I think that once a day, that's not enough of a justification to buy that controller. Plus, it doesn't even have rechargeable batteries.
And that's what really messes me up on whether or not I wanted to get it, because that hurts.
Yeah, like I have the battery pack, so I can just put the battery pack inside of it and recharge that, and that'd be fine. But like, that is just too expensive. It does have like the magnetic buttons or whatever, so you can change like the style of the some of the controllers. I guess the controls. I don't remember how it works, but that's just too much. What I do want to get though is that new Surface Book, the laptop / tablet. I like that. It's expensive though.
Is it?
Yeah, I'm not gonna be able to do it. It's like, I think the cheapest model is probably like $1,500 or $1,600, but if you want to like get a better processor, you're probably spending closer to $2,000 with more like hard drive space. But it's a really powerful computer / tablet, and I think it looks really nice. I'll probably get it. I'll probably get something like that, or just a new computer, a new laptop once I graduate. I was thinking of getting a new desktop, but I can probably wait on that for a little bit longer.
Yeah.
I do need a new laptop. My laptop is definitely showing its age, and it acts up. Like, I can't actually move my laptop without it freezing. Like,
that's crazy.
Yeah, I think there's a problem with the motherboard. I actually thought it was a malfunctioning like fall. Like, a lot of laptops, they have detections in the hard drive. Like, if you drop it, it stops spinning.
Yes.
To protect the hard drive. I thought that was malfunctioning, but I looked into it more, and I think it's actually a problem with the motherboard. And my warranty's expired. So I've known about the problem for a long time. I thought it was a setting. I was trying to figure out how to tweak it. I could never figure it out. And then I only saw the thing about the motherboard like a month or two ago, and the warranty's expired, so I can't get it fixed. But if I like move my laptop too fast, it will freeze, and I have to shut it off and restart the computer. So lose whatever progress I had, and it's just a mess. So I basically have to use it as a desktop most of the time. If I want to move it, I have to put it to sleep and then move it and then wake it back up.
Okay.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
Are you what are you listening to, reading or playing? I know you're playing Halo 5 right now, but
yeah, playing Halo 5, playing Destiny. I actually really want to get back into Metal Gear Solid though. When I was watching somebody stream it, it just looked, it was a lot of fun playing it. I just never had much of an opportunity to play it. And I am listening to, what am I listening to? I've been listening to a lot of podcasts. I listened to a bit of Pandora this week, but I'm really trying to catch up on podcasts. So I think I'm less than a week, but no, I'm about a week behind on Bill Burr's podcast now. I think when you and I last talked, I was like 3 weeks behind. I was contemplating just skipping everything, but I did catch up. I did go through all of them. There were some hilarious moments.
Oh my God, yes.
Some that I really wanted to send to you, and unfortunately with podcasts, I can't, like, there's no easy way to find to like share with you. So, kind of lost those.
Yeah.
Then what else? Oh, Bill Simmons, his podcast came back, and I've been listening to that, but he puts up a lot, and it's hard to listen to every single one of Bill Simmons' podcasts throughout the week, because he typically does hour-long podcasts, and he'll have like 3 in a week. And my total commute time per week or per day, if I just go to work and back, is about an hour. Not every day. I don't listen to a podcast every single day either. Sometimes I listen to music. So
okay.
I think I might stop listening to some of those, because I realize I'm like a month back on This American Life. I haven't listened to Shaq or Jalen Rose's podcast in like, I don't know how long now. I think I'm done with Shaq's podcast. I did enjoy it the first few weeks, but the
First few
last time I
weeks,
listened
but it's
to it,
just it's enough.
yeah, the last time I listened to it was the interview with Kobe, which was good.
That was a good one.
Like they get a lot of really huge celebrities to go on there, but I think I'm a little over Shaq already. Like, no disrespect to Shaq. Like, I really like Shaq, but he just has like certain opinions. He has some opinions, and he's so like set on them, and he thinks his way is 100% right, and there's no room for discussion or conversation. And I'm just like, no, I really don't agree with you on that at all. And like it's happened enough when he's tried to like argue his point or explain his viewpoint on something, and we'll just be like, stop, you're just being silly, stuff like that. And I'm just like, you know what, this is too much.
It was, yeah.
I would definitely listen to it if I didn't have so many other podcasts to listen to, though.
Exactly.
So I'll just put that out there.
Exactly.
There's a lot of good stuff out there. And I did watch what is the movie? Beast of No Nation.
What'd you think about that?
That was a great movie.
So good, right? So dark.
Yeah. Most of the movie was filmed in Ghana. I don't know if you knew that.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
I like that they didn't call out a specific country because you didn't need to.
Same. Yeah. When I was describing the movie to Lena, she'd asked that, and I said they don't actually say it. You just know that they're in a civil war.
Right.
There's issues going on and whatnot, but it was a great movie. And I think it did a really good job of like portraying how a child can become involved in an army and how he can easily be manipulated to do the bidding of his commander and the other people around him. They showed they showed a little bit of brown, the drugs that the kids would use. It was just intense, very, very intense movie. Like that is a movie that there's certain, like, it's a fantastic movie. I'd recommend many people to watch it, but there's certain people that I actually wouldn't recommend watch it because it's just not a movie that would be for them. Like I wouldn't have Lena watch that movie, for example.
It's really dark.
Yeah.
And if you're not in the right mood or in the right mindset, it can really mess with you.
Yeah, I think so.
So, what am I listening to right now? So I'm definitely on the Bill Burr podcast. It's nice because I do it when I cook, so I'm like sort of like a captive audience,
Yeah.
And plus, I don't have to be like, because at work sometimes it's just hard to pay attention to it when everyone's around me. Yeah. I created this playlist. Well, I'm listening to this playlist made by Spotify called Peaceful Piano. That's what I started listening to at work. I found out that if you listen to music without words, it taps into the right side of your brain, so you can still focus because different parts of your brain are firing. Yeah. If you listen to music with words, then it's activating the same focus parts of your brain, so you're sort of jamming yourself up.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, if that's the case, I just start listening to like classical music at work or jazz, like anything that's like peaceful that I can sort of tune out in a healthy way, not tune out because I know all the words, because then you like instinctively start singing along, and then like next thing you know, you're not focused.
No, I completely agree with you.
So that's a big life change. I also stopped listening to music before I go to bed. I stopped drinking tea before I go to bed, and I'm sleeping more fully. It might be because it's colder.
Nice.
I also bought new sheets, so the old sheets were around for about a year, and I figured that was enough is enough. So I swapped all those out. I bought 2 sets of sheets from Amazon, a sort of like a dark gray one and then a light blue one. So I'm going dark gray for now, and then I'll swap back just to like get that clean,
Yeah.
But this playlist I created, I called it Repeat Button Broken, and there's only 16 songs right now. But some songs on there, Loyal by Chris Brown. So good. Oh my god. Drake's Hotline Bling. Let's just be real. Let's be real. That's gonna be on it.
I'm so tired of that song already.
Get out of here.
Yeah, man. I'm
I hate
tired
you.
of that song already, man. I mean, I heard the song when he put it up on his SoundCloud page. So a while back. Like it was sometime this summer, and then it became really popular kind of at the end of summer, early fall. Yeah. And then the video came, and along with the video and all the meme videos that I've seen with it, it's so much Hotline Bling. Yeah, I had too much of it.
No Role Models by J. Cole.
All right.
From Time, Drake. Ty Dolla Signs or Nah. Fucking Problems by ASAP Rocky. That's like one of my favorite
It's a
ASAP.
song I haven't heard in a while.
Yeah, I
We
just
talked
think
about that.
that song hits so hard, so fast. And so I just listened to and Adele's Hello. Oh my god, I had that song on repeat. That song is too good. And when I found out that Rick Ross did not a cover, but he did a remix of it, it's
Yeah.
actually really good. He's got a set of bars in the middle that was like, oh damn, ex-prison guard who stole someone else's identity and made millions off of it. You did real well. You did real well. I'm not trying to call out Rick Ross right now
Yeah, you are.
because
That's fine.
the man's
I'm
killing
fine with
it.
it. I'm fine with you calling him out.
If
I don't like Rick Ross for that reason.
I mean, if you're listening to Rick Ross,
I don't.
oh no, damn.
No, I don't. I
Um,
don't.
I was
I
like,
don't think I've ever listened to
shout
to
out,
Rick Ross.
shout out from Rick Ross. So can you give a shout out on behalf of somebody else? I don't think that's how it works.
I don't think so.
You don't think so? All right,
No.
let's end it here for today.
All right, yeah. It's been
Yeah.
on for a while.
Yeah, thanks so much for listening. While we've been talking, I sort of created a logo and we're getting it onto iTunes. So hopefully for the next episode, once they approve of it, then we'll be right in, and then we'll definitely start pushing out the fact that we're in iTunes.
Perfect. Sounds great.
All right, man. Well, I'm Sandy.
I'm Reza.
Thanks so much for listening. We'll see you next week. Take care.